Cruise news time, and well, it's a challenging few days for Royal Caribbean International and a couple of its cruise ships. We've got one that is broken, we have one that is diverted, and we have guests that are impacted. Plus, let's take a moment and remember Jimmy Buffett. Cruise news and my views. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Lido Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news and views. Well, you know what it's for. It's for your face. Welcome to Sunday. Let me check the calendar. Sunday, September the 3rd, 2023. Smack dab in the pivotal day, I guess, of the Labor Day weekend. What is the most important day of the Labor Day weekend? Is it Monday? I don't know. Days don't matter to me anymore. If you're out there and this is a Labor Day weekend celebration for you, what was the most important day? Is it Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Will it be Monday? Are there cookouts tomorrow? Happy Labor Day, everybody. Let's kick off the cruise news remembering Jimmy Buffett. It's interesting. I've never really thought about what celebrities were particularly associated with cruising, but when the news came across the wire early yesterday morning that Jimmy Buffett had passed away, immediately I thought about cruising and Jimmy Buffett's relationship to cruising, and primarily it's cruising in the islands, right? We're talking about cruising in the Caribbean. That whole vibe that comes with island life, the whole vibe that comes with cruising to the Caribbean, I really think it was embodied by the lifestyle of Jimmy Buffett. Sadly, passed away from skin cancer, and of course the cruise lines are coming out with very kind remembrances of Jimmy Buffett, a cruise brand that holds the iconic name that Jimmy Buffett created, Margaritaville. This is what they said. On behalf of everyone who works, visits, or lives in Margaritaville, we mourn the loss of Jimmy, a true national treasure, and express our heartfelt condolences to his family and everyone around the world who loves him. We celebrate his life, believe his spirit lives on like a never-ending encore, and we'll see his radiant smile and that twinkle in his eye when we look toward the sun, and we'll continue to share his way of life wherever, whenever we can. Carnival brand ambassador John Heald shared this on his Facebook page. Many of you reading this will at some point have been on the Lido deck of one of our ships, fun ship special in hand, singing along to Cheeseburger in Paradise and Margaritaville. May your soul rest in peace, Jimmy. Thank you from all the Carnival Cruise Line family for the many years of music that you have blessed our cruises with. Michael Bailey, the president and CEO of Royal Caribbean, said this: for many who worked, lived, or sailed the Caribbean, Jimmy Buffett really helped make it even more enjoyable. Many a margarita over a Caribbean sunset just tasted so much better. And of course, out there on social media, there are a ton of pop culture and other music celebrities paying tribute to Jimmy Buffett. One of the most endearing was the one from Paul McCartney. I did not realize that these guys were such good friends. I had heard that Paul McCartney visited Jimmy Buffett in the last few days, singing songs to him, which is really touching. But he had this very moving tribute on Twitter. I'll leave Paul's words up here if you want to pause and read, but he also included this great picture. I said it before, it's really a weird phenomena, these emotions that we get when somebody that we don't know at all, that we only know through their celebrity or their influence on the culture or the influence on the things that we do in life, that's when we have these emotional reactions. And I know I woke up early yesterday morning, and one of the first notifications I got on my phone was that Jimmy Buffett had passed away. And yeah, I felt sad, even though I didn't know Jimmy Buffett at all. And so we say rest in peace, Jimmy Buffett. And it's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's definitely 5 o'clock where you're at. Thank you for all of the good music that you gave us. It's wild. I know the next time that we hear a Jimmy Buffett song at a cruise ship karaoke, it'll probably hit just a little different. All right, let's talk about these issues that Royal Caribbean is having with a couple cruise ships right now. First, let's talk about Royal Caribbean's Radiance of the Seas. Radiance of the Seas has been doing Alaskan sailings, and on their very last cruise, they had propulsion issues. And unfortunately, those propulsion issues could not be repaired, so cruisers set to sail on September the 1st were notified that their cruise was canceled. Many of those cruisers found that out on the day of embarkation, and guess where this cruise was embarking at? Seward, Alaska. So that means if you were on this cruise, chances are really good that you were already in Seward, Alaska, and you found out that your cruise had been canceled. Fortunately, Royal Caribbean will be working with those passengers in Seward to help them make their travel arrangements home. Of course, if they book their airfare through Royal Caribbean, they will rebook a flight for those folks to get back home. Even if they didn't book with Royal Caribbean, they will be handling up to $600 in expense for change of flight to get those folks back home. They're opening up the Radiance of the Seas to allow people to stay on for a couple days to use that cruise ship somewhat as a hotel while they are making their travel plans home. And of course, because of the cancellation, the passengers got a 100% refund of their cruise fare. If it was a future cruise credit that they used to book that cruise, they will get their future cruise credit certificate reinstated. And they will also get a 100% future cruise credit to use on another Royal Caribbean sailing. They do have to use that future cruise credit to book that next cruise by September the 22nd, 2023. And it sounds like they're really going out of their way to make sure that people who are impacted by this cancellation are well taken care of. No word yet on what's in store for the next cruise. The cruise that got canceled was supposed to go from Seward down to Vancouver, with the next cruise starting in Vancouver. We know folks that are going to be on that next cruise. We haven't heard yet whether or not their cruise will be canceled. Hopefully they'll get that propulsion issue fixed and they'll get that cruise ship down to Vancouver, and people that are anticipating cruising from Vancouver on September the 8th will be able to go on their cruise. The story is an interesting contrast because in this story, you see the cruise line going above and beyond to help people with accommodations and airfare changes. That's in contrast to the story yesterday where we had passengers looking for help with accommodations and airfare on our Carnival cruise. Of course, the big difference here is one of those things was outside the control of the cruise line. That would be the hurricane. And this thing is inside the control of the cruise line because it is their cruise ship that broke down. And you can kind of see the difference. Again, I talked yesterday about how cruise lines will define their area of responsibility. And a lot of that is predicated on why passengers are having an issue. Hurricane, different than a cruise ship breaking down. It's interesting to see the contrast between these two stories. Unfortunately, that's not the only Royal Caribbean cruise ship having issues out there. There's also a challenge for the Liberty of the Seas on their current sailing. I'm going to tell you all about that. But first, let me invite you to subscribe. If you like staying up to date with everything going on in cruising, if you like staying up to date with the cruise news, make sure you are part of the notification squad. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy. Click the subscribe button, click the notification bell, say that you want all of the notifications, and anytime I put a show out, bingo, bango, you'll get a notification. Thank you in advance. Liberty of the Seas is changing their itinerary, changing from a bucket list destination, instead going somewhere else. The Liberty of the Seas loaded up with passengers yesterday in Cape Liberty, New Jersey. Passengers ready to go to Bermuda, but because of that meddling hurricane Idalia, which made its way through the Gulf of Mexico, across Florida, into the states of Georgia and South Carolina and North Carolina, and then back out into the Atlantic Ocean, and then it made a beeline for Bermuda. Because of that, passengers on the Liberty of the Seas are being diverted. They're being rerouted away from the pink sandy beaches of Bermuda all the way up to Nova Scotia and Halifax. So I guess they're exchanging the pink sands of Bermuda for the sweet pink Nova Scotia smoked salmon. Can I get a Sunday morning Locks shout out? Shout out Locks! Okay, I just got diverted in my mind by thinking about smoked salmon. So there you go. Could you imagine your Bermuda beachy bucket list trip all of a sudden gets transformed into a trip to, oh, Canada. And full transparency here, if they told me I couldn't go to Bermuda and I had to go up the east coast of North America, I would like that change better because, well, I prefer colder weather and salmon over beaches. So yeah, but I can imagine there's probably some people bummed out on that cruise ship. Fortunately, Royal Caribbean did give those passengers options. If they did not like the change that they were being presented with, they could cancel for a full refund without penalty. And then anybody that chose to stay on the cruise ship, they got, of course, a refund of their excursions and everything related to Bermuda. Plus, they got a $100 onboard credit. Boom, that is your cruise news. I sure hope you enjoyed it. Do me a favor, hit that like button on your way out. This is Tony for La Lido Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye. Cruise news, cruise news, cruise